Good evening, everyone. It is so nice to see you. Happy New Year. And I pray that everyone made it into the New Year safely. And I also pray that your 2025 is a voluminous, prosperous, and bountiful year for you and your family. So, once again, Happy New Year. Hey, it's a new year. So let's talk about some new things. This is different. Um, it still has to do with relationships, having one or not having one. So I was doing some research, just looking at some different things as it related to relationships and how people conduct themselves, women in different countries, as it relates to relationships. So this is something, it's not brand new, but it's fairly new, several years, and it's coming out of South Korea. And it's called the 4B movement. So I'm just going to read a little bit to you guys, to you all. It refers to a social trend in South Korea where some women choose to reject traditional gender roles and expectations, particularly in relationships with men. The 4B comes from the four Korean words. Now, I do not speak Korean, so I'm going to do my best to say the Korean word, but also tell you what it means in English. So the first B in Korean is bi-hon, no marriage. Then the second one is bi-yeonae, no dating. And the second one is bi-seonggwangye, no sexual relationships. And I'm sure I pronounced that absolutely incorrect. So I do apologize to anyone that knows how to pronounce it. My apologies. And so that was no sexual relationships. And then bi-chulsan, no childbirth. So if I pronounced any of those wrong, incorrectly, which I'm sure I did, I do apologize once again to anyone that knows the correct way or is familiar with the 4B movement. So this movement, these women don't believe in any of the traditional norms as it relates to relationships. So it says this movement is part of a broader feminist response to gender inequality and societal pressures, such as patriarchal norms, unequal division of labor, and discrimination against women in the workplace and at home. Some women in this movement feel that rejecting these conventions gives them more autonomy and allows them, excuse me, let me get back to where I was. I apologize. My screen wants to do what it wants to do. So, once again, it says some women in this movement feel that rejecting these conventions gives them more autonomy and allows them to focus on their personal growth, careers, and well being without societal constraints. Now, that's a lot. That really, really, really is a lot because you can't say that you want to be, and I'm speaking from the American's perspective, you can't say that you want to be in a relationship and discard all of those norms. And I know that in some instances, women are choosing not to have children, at all, no procreation, not choosing to have children at all, which as time goes on, it will affect the world. It'll affect the world, in terms of society development, in terms of community, available entities, individuals to work. Well, with AI coming up, who knows what it'll look like at that point. But anyway, getting back to the 4B movement, that is a lot to just give up all of those norms and say that you would prefer just to be an individual by yourself, not have any children, have no sexual relationships, no marriage. That's a lot. I would like to know what you all think. What your thoughts are on that. Is that something that you would subscribe to, or Are you looking to be in a committed, long-term relationship, whether it's marriage, companionship, whatever the case may be? These women in this movement aren't looking for that. And I say, don't you, wouldn't you get lonely? Wouldn't you want companionship? It's just a lot to take in and just say, I'm going to be this individual by myself, don't want a husband, don't want to ever engage in a romantic interlude from a sexual perspective with the opposite sex and with whatever sex you choose to be with, but you choose not to be with anyone, just be with yourself. That to me is once again, it's a lot. It is a lot to take on and just be responsible for that going through life, not engaging with anyone that you could have a relationship with, not having, and the children part, I get it. I don't have any children, and I don't feel like that's lessened my life by any mean. And children are a blessing, and children are beautiful, of course. I just happen not to have any, just by the construct of my life. But anyway, it's a lot. The 4B movement. I'm not sure if it's moved into the U.S. in in depth like that, but I know it has in to some degree when we speak from the inequality in the workplace. Women are continuously fighting for equal rights in the workplace because you come into a business, into a corporation, and you're doing the same job as your male counterpart. Well, he may have a wife at home with children. You may have a husband at home with children. Why should you make less? You should not make less. If you're doing the same job, you need to make the same money. So parts of it, I definitely subscribe to for sure. But I'm not sure about the relationship part. And let's see what else. And I would love to get married. If that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But it's definitely something that I would definitely like. And the no dating, that was the other one. No dating. Oh my goodness. No dating. So if you're not dating, you're not going to get married. If you're not dating, you're not going to engage in any type of intimacy. If you're not dating, you're not going to have children. Or excuse me, if you're not dating, you're not engaging in any intimacy with someone else of the opposite sex, because that's who you need to have children. If you're not doing any of those things, that's a lot to take on. And I would just say, living life like that, you would have to have a community of women that you are so close to so that your life does not engulf you in just yourself and whatever you're doing to progress and move ahead for your own self. So it's a lot. I definitely would like to know what some of the women out there think about, even the men. I definitely would like to know what some of the women think about that, if that's something that you feel that you could subscribe to, or even parts of it. Like I said, the children part. I don't have children, so I can definitely relate to that part, and it hasn't made me less of a person or change my life in a negative manner by no means. And like I said, once again, children are definitely a blessing. I just happen not to have any. So new things, new year, new day. It's 2025. Let's talk about some new things. So let me know what you think about the 4B movement. No marriage, no children, no dating, and no sexual relationships. And once again, we know that women, of course, are always striving for equality in the workplace. So some of those norms can definitely go out the window in terms of a man having to have a certain salary because he's got a wife and kids at home. That's from the 1940s and 30s and 50s. That's all. Let's move on from that. Women deserve to make the same salary if they're doing the same job. Period. Period. Okay. So, miss you guys. Please comment. Please do subscribe, trying to grow my channel. I know I have a long way to go, but the only way I will get there is if you like what you are hearing on my channel, A Convo with Chris. Please like, leave a comment, subscribe, and share. Always share, especially with your female friends, because a lot of times we don't share information. So then we're not privy to different things that are going on that might be something that, will be good for us. Knowledge is power. If nothing else, knowing is power because it gives you an opportunity to move the way that you want to move based on what, is going on. So listen, guys, have a wonderful evening, and I will be back with some more different conversations. It's the new year, so let's talk about some different things. Let me know your thoughts. All right. Have a wonderful evening.